This is the mesolimbocortical dopamine system, and it's the portions of the brain that we believe control our addiction, our tendency towards addiction. The two areas that I'm going to highlight are the nucleus accumbens right here, and we think that the nucleus accumbens is actually our reward system, and that anytime anything stimulates the nucleus accumbens, we'll find that pleasurable and rewarding. And all drugs of abuse, alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, as well as, of course, heroin, cocaine, all drugs of abuse stimulate the nucleus accumbens, as do eating, drinking, and sex. And eating, drinking, and sex are all meant to be behaviors that are reinforcing for us because they're important to the survival of the species. Nicotine, caffeine, alcohol, those substances we've just discovered also stimulate the nucleus accumbens, and so we find those very pleasurable. Remember the fundamental concept that neurons that wire together fire together? Well, this is a very good example of that. Axons from the nucleus accumbens project into the prefrontal cortex. Our prefrontal cortex is a center for learning for us. And so, what we believe happens is that initially, when we ingest a substance that stimulates the nucleus accumbens, we find it appealing. And then, with increasing use, it's not the substance itself, but instead it's the cues that surround the substance that begin to trigger our desire for the substance. So it's not the alcohol, but it's instead the bar that you go to normally drink the alcohol, the friends that you're with, the time of day or the day of the week in which you normally take in that substance. And those things will begin to create a desire for the alcohol. So think of it this way. If you ever had the experience, you were fine, having an okay day, and you go and sit in a bar where you typically ingest alcohol, and you suddenly think, gosh, I need a drink. And that's because the cues from that bar have produced a craving. And that craving is actually a physiological response within and of itself. But your brain has learned that through these projections from the nucleus accumbens to the prefrontal cortex. So as those neurons have fired together, they have wired together. This particular system in the brain is also an example of the fact that all behavior and cognition is controlled by interrelated sets of neurological structures. It's never just one structure that controls our behavior. Now, one other thing. So check out this slide. This was the advertisement for a workshop on campus a number of years ago. What's wrong with this slide? If cues to taking a substance create craving and not the substance itself, why should you not have something like this up? Well, it's because if you happen to be an intravenous drug user, seeing that needle will, within and of itself, cue you to want the drug. And so this was actually, I pulled this off the wall and took it because this is an extremely irresponsible thing to do, to post, because you don't know who is seeing it and what kinds of problems they might be dealing with.